What's up, everybody? My name is Joseph Lana Jr., also known as the Cowboy Drummer. I play in a band called Dropout Kings. I tour all over the world. I make videos about drums. I have a pretty big following on all the social media platforms. And it wasn't always like that because there was a time where I was an addict and I was just constantly suffering, in and out of jail, in and out of rehab, kept relapsing. I couldn't get it right. And I spent a good 7 years of my life in just an endless circle. And I was just chasing my tail, couldn't really get out of it. I eventually did. I want basically just motivate people to just use me as an example that you too can do anything, whether you're struggling with addiction like I was, or maybe you're just struggling to achieve things. You want a different life for yourself, but you just kind of keep chasing your tail perhaps. This is what helped me. I recognized that all I was focusing on was my addiction and how difficult it was. Literally all I thought about. When I went into rehab, that's kind of what they told me too. Like, look, this is a lifelong thing here. You're once an addict, always an addict. This is a disease. You got to work at this forever where you're in recovery. So I spent some years with that mindset, and it just didn't do me any good. I'm not trying to say addiction counselors and doctors are wrong or nothing like that. I'm just saying it didn't work for me. However, what did work for me was quite the opposite. I stopped thinking of myself in these negative ways, like that I was suffering or that I was weak. I started flipping that. I'm strong. I'm powerful. Nothing can break me. I would look at myself in the mirror and just say these things and just motivate myself and just light that fire that I needed to continue on day after day. A big problem that I dealt with when I was an addict was the withdrawal, because I was addicted to opiates, and when you don't have them, you get sick, and it takes a couple weeks to get through that. So that sickness tricks our minds into thinking we need it. It's constantly there. You wake up every day, you're sick, you do a little bit of drugs, you feel good. You feel normal. You're not even doing it to get high anymore. You're doing it just to function, to get normal. And it was just a huge problem because that physical feeling literally dictated the way I was thinking, obviously, because if you feel something physically, you're going to recognize it in your mind and you're going to accept it and say, I feel sick. It's hard to say the opposite when you physically feel sick, but I did anyways. I didn't want to accept the feeling because I knew that withdrawal feeling was keeping my mind in the place where I didn't want it to be. So that was a challenge, I kept telling myself I feel good when I didn't, but eventually just happened, man. It just went away. It's repetition. That's what it really takes to make changes, mentally and physically. Repetition, just like working out. You don't just do a couple curls and your arms get big. You got to do it every day, multiple times. It takes time. It's a slow build. And it's the same thing with this. You got to keep watering that plant, that seed rather, in your mind. And day after day, it gets a little easier and it gets a little better. You don't even realize it. You're just transforming, just like a plant growing. So now think about where you're at in your life. Think about the way you view your life, what you're thinking about. You know what I mean? Do you view your life as oh, I can't do that because of this, or I've been trying to do this, but I just can't. And then you just accept where you're at and you don't really go after those desires that you have, even though they're there. If that's you, you have to listen right here because your mindset is dictating that. You're believing the wrong shit about yourself, or you're thinking the wrong shit. Flip that mindset, watch it grow. But here's the thing, most people will do that, they'll try it, and 2 weeks later they just give up and they go back to their old thinking. I tried that and it doesn't work. It takes consistency. And to be honest, you can't worry about how long it's gonna take. That's another problem that we all focus on. How long? How long is it gonna take till I get normal? You're thinking about the wrong shit yet again. Put yourself in the end result and have faith. Have faith that God, or whatever you believe in, the universe, have faith that it's going to be there for you and is not going to let you fail. View yourself in the life that you want. Stop viewing yourself in the current reality. That's the key. And it's hard. It's hard, man, because your reality will say something different. And it's how am I supposed to believe something different than what I'm seeing? Well, you're creating what you see from the inside. That's what's happening. And I learned that when I read these books, The Secret and The Law of Attraction. In fact, I read those books. I applied that mindset to my life. And that's how I beat addiction and I sailed right through that entire shit, bro. I mean, I'm not struggling. I'm not an addict. It's completely gone because I have fully developed a completely different mindset in my inner world. And now I see that reflect in my outer world. And none of it in there has anything to do with struggling, addiction, trying to be in recovery. I mean, I completely moved past it. So truly, whatever you believe about yourself within, whatever you think about most, whatever you're focused on, your life is going to reflect that. You absolutely can do it. I don't care what it is. You can get off of heroin. You can achieve that goal. You can become the CEO of that company. I mean, literally anything you want. You have to believe it. A lot of people will be like, I can't become a CEO. That would take so much work. I didn't go to college. I didn't do that. Like all that shit right there is literally going to keep you where you don't want to be. We all have these desires, but we just don't really go about them because we believe we can't. You can. Every single person who's done something, they were once at a point where they didn't have that and they believed they could and they went for it and it happened. Everyone who doesn't have that life believed they couldn't. I mean, it's as simple as that. And you control the way you think. You control your beliefs about yourself, no one else. Don't let the outer world dictate that inner feeling. You got to generate it yourself and watch the outer world morph to your inner assumptions. I love you guys. I hope you have a good day. Use me as an example that you can do anything you want in life. Peace.